back, everyone. The last few months I've been thinking about doing another video on just sort of like a modest headphone type of system. And I've collected a couple of different headphone amplification items and headphones, earbuds, in-ear monitors over the years. Really, like, my first experiences with listening to headphones was back when I'm in my early teens, living in my parents' house, and they weren't very interested in listening to Alice Cooper on Friday and Black Sabbath on Saturday on their stereo system. And so, I had to get a pair of headphones to plug in and be able to listen to what I wanted to listen to without interfering or bothering anyone else. So I've never really taken to headphones myself very well. I recognize that they have this value to a lot of people, and certainly when you're trying to listen to music that you want to get familiar with all the sound, they're very good for that, because it's so closed over your ears and you can really pick up all the nuances. But just for generally listening to music, I really like the spaciousness of open speakers. After quite a long time, I didn't have anything in the headphone business, and then Apple came out with that. And as I'm sure you recognize this to be one of the original iPods, little click wheel thing, And this is basically just an MP3 player, AAC, the Apple codec for it. But essentially is very lossy in sound. They do a lot of compression. But the thing is what you don't see on modern equipment like iPhones these days is the little 3.5 millimeter jack that you can use wired headphones or in-ear monitors or earbuds, that type of thing. So this served its purpose for a while. Then the battery on this is totally dead, by the way, and the only way it'll work is if you plug it in, and I've managed to lose the serial cable that goes to that. Let's just say misplaced. It's somewhere, but I have no idea where. So then I bought a Sony Walkman. I really liked that little player. It had a nice touchscreen to it, nice color touchscreen, very small, very slim. You could put an SD card in it, I think 256 gigabytes. I loaded up a lot of music on it, used to use it quite a bit, and then put it in the back pocket of my blue jeans and forgot about it. And then sent my blue jeans to the laundry. So the Sony didn't fare very well. Rest in peace. This is what it used to be, though. Right up here, you can see it. I put a picture up. So to replace the Sony, I didn't want to spend that kind of money on another one, and I just happened to run across this little gadget, which is a FiO player. This was on a discount, sort of a clearance bin on Acoustic Sounds right before Christmas a couple of years ago, and you can even see it's got the little high-res badge on it. It's an interesting little player. It's a click wheel, so it's not all just an intuitive touchscreen like the Sony was, but it does have the click wheel functionality. It's a nice little color display, and it actually plays really, really well. No complaints with it. It's Bluetooth enabled, and that's kind of important. So what I do with it is I've been listening to it with these little Denon in-ear monitors. This was just a relatively inexpensive pair that I picked up, I think, at Target. And they work pretty good. They're not the last word in resolution, but they do have some fairly decent bass weight to them. It's just surprising for something as small as this. A while back, just to try the waters on something else, there was a Mastrop deal that came through, and I bought these in-ear monitors, and these are made by New Force. And with these, they're very clear in the mid-range, but they're not really very good on the bass weight. I think they're a little bit thin, a little light. It's got a nice braided cord to it, and they work. It's like if you're listening to music that's just maybe more oriented towards mid-range and less bass, or classical music or chamber music, I think these have their purpose for that. They do pretty well. So that is not the extent of my headphone life. So let's take a look in the other room where I have a little bit of a different system, and we'll just go through that. Okay, so out here in my living room, I have this Jack Wu Audio WA6. It's a very simple tube headphone amplifier. So all it does is just drive your headphones. The only thing it has is a power button and a volume knob. One set of single-ended inputs in the back, which is connected to an Oppo 203 that's underneath this cabinet. And then I'm using a pair of the Shure SRH 1840 headphones. They're open back headphones. And I bought these because I read a review on them, and someone had, the reviewer spoke very highly of them, thought they were great headphones, and I wound up picking a pair as an open box special up from a retailer and brought them home. I'll listen to them from time to time. There's a very good sounding SACD, by the way. If you haven't tried these Universal Japan single super high material, they're not multi-layer. You have to have an SACD player to play them. They're really, really, really well done. I have a whole series of them. Really like them, especially listening to a headphone set like this. So that is basically it for me. This is the world I have on headphone amplification. Not much to it, but this little guy plays really well. And it's surprisingly weighty too. I mean, the chassis, the transformers, this little gadget weighs probably good 15 pounds, I would suspect. And so there you have it. Not a whole lot to this review, not a whole lot to this video, but if you have interest in headphones, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get something nice. You can start with something as simple as a pocket-sized player. There's so many of them on the market these days. There's so many different types of in-ear monitors now. Bluetooth is such a big thing. You don't even have to have wires. So if you live in a place where you really just don't have an opportunity to have a speaker system, give some considerations to headphones. And that'll do it. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll get you next time.